Hey there, you all. It's Nikki B here with LaRae, and we are here at the 50th annual Cleveland International Film Festival. Say that 3 times.
Right.
Say that 3 times. But we are here at the Cedar Lee Theater. And did you all know that this is exactly where the Cleveland International Film Festival started?
I did not know that.
See, look at me dropping gems with the director, film producer. Yes. So her screening, the documentary Beyond, is happening here today. So I'm really excited to sit down with her and have this conversation because if you all didn't know, this actually hits home for me. So I'm hopeful that I don't get so emotional in this conversation, but I'm going to stick to the script, stick to the questions so that we get what we need to get from this conversation and optimize on our time. All right, so Miss Asia, thank you so much for being here with me. I'm truly grateful and excited and hopeful and just elated that you decided to share this story, share the stories of the people who are in this documentary. So that leads us to our first question, and again, let me stick to the script, you all, because if not, I'll be up in heavens and deeper than the earth. So what did you see or experience that made you feel like this story couldn't be ignored and that you were the one to tell it?
First, I want to say thank you so much. Thank you, Cleveland. Thank you, Film Festival, for seeing something in this film. That was our hope. That was our goal, for people just to see people that are struggling, but through that struggle, finding themselves and finding healing. And I think if you don't know what Beyond is about, let me just you saw the trailer.
Yes.
And Beyond tells the story of a group of men at Sing Sing prison, which is a maximum security prison in New York State. And it tells the story of them gearing up for an event that they have every year called Beyond the Block. And it is a TED-style talk, but also infuses art and poetry and music into this day-long event where the audience is comprised of their loved ones, legislators, funders, people who are in power that can make a shift, that can make a change, and also just other people who are in the same situation as them, who are similarly situated, incarcerated men like themselves. And so I think that even if I didn't have a personal connection to this, just being that I am so curious and caring, I would have wanted to be part of this. And it all started back when my dad passed away. My dad passed away when I was 11. And, in Black families, even brown families, I don't know, it might be in every family, when something is dark or not like bright and shiny and like doesn't cast like the best light on a family, like we don't talk about it. And so in my family, the story was that my dad passed away of a heart attack. And so that was just like one secret. And so later on, I found his death certificate and he had actually passed away. It was self-inflicted. And so that really got my mind wondering and like more so focused on like, why did my family not tell me the truth? But also like, how hard and bad and deep does the pain have to be for someone to feel so hopeless? And then that happened to me, where I felt really alone in pain and just didn't have like an outlet or anybody that I could talk to about it. And after like a couple years of just like mental health decline, like I found myself too, like these men in Sing Sing, I found myself in Michigan's only prison for women. And while I was in prison, I think it might have been like a few months into it, my great aunt came to visit me. And she visited every single Thursday, her and my great uncle, along with the other family members. But my great aunt and uncle, it was really big because they were getting older and they would make that trip every Thursday. And one Thursday she says, I'm just glad that, I want you to know and feel loved because when your dad was in prison, he didn't feel this. And I was like, wait, what? My dad went to prison?
Oh my gosh.
And she said, yes, and no one wanted to tell you. And so now my whole life is like, just like, I'm going down a different path. In college, I knew that I wanted to be, I was an artist and I was a creative, and I wanted to be a music video director. Like as a kid, it was like Michael Jackson, and then growing up, it was like, oh, this Rihanna song, I wish I could direct this video. But when I was in my early 20s, there weren't an abundance of women, especially Black women, like doing that work or not like famous for it. There was like Melina Matsoukas and like a few other women, but like it was all Hype Williams, Dave Myers, like these men leading that work. But when I found myself in prison, it was less about music, but music did get me through, but more about the women that were there with me and wanting to really explain, improve, and share with the world that like our lives didn't start the day we made a poor choice or the day we were in crisis or the day we may have caused harm. That's not where it started. Like our life started the day we were born, and there's a whole story before that day, and our hopes and our dreams and our accountability and our desire to heal and heal others, like that still continues. And so what would it look like for me to come home and not only continue wanting to direct music videos, but direct documentaries about people who, not even just people who've been incarcerated, but anybody who's ever felt invisible or sad or alone. And so that's why I joined my co-director, Michael Kleiman, in directing this film.
I was not expecting the depth and the transparency and the vulnerability that you just shared.
I feel really comfortable with you.
I
don't
love
know what
that.
it is.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
You see my eyes are teary because I'm just trying to keep it together here, girl.
Yeah.
So thank you for sharing that. Oh my gosh. Sticking to the script.
Stick to the script. You don't have to, but
Stick to the script, because if not, we'll be here all day and all night.
Yeah.
Okay. So shifting a little bit, but still staying here. As someone who's had people I love impacted by incarceration, just as yourself, this story feels personal. How did you make sure you were honoring the real human experience, not just the system?
So Maya Angelou said that the greatest agony is bearing an untold story inside of you.
Oh, goodness gracious.
And that has changed the way I think, the way I talk to people, the way I listen. Listening is so important. And what I wanted first and foremost was to decrease the agony that I know these men are in. Yeah. And if that's through, if their desire is to share their story, and not even just their story, but I hate the word humanize because it means that like there has to be a process by which we see a human as a human. The focus for this particular piece, because I think that there should be a focus on like how the system operates and how we need to reimagine, change it. But for this particular film, it was about these guys, not even just them, but their families and their hopes and you could see them yearning not to just transform and change themselves, but to do that on a large scale in hopes that it changes the world. And so when I stepped into that prison, it was my first time being in a prison since I had been in one. The hardest part was leaving. The hardest part every day after a long day of shooting was knowing that I get to go home and shower with the soap that I bought and chose, go to a restaurant that I found and chose, looked at the reviews. Like I get to do all these things that I think that we take for granted as people who are not behind the wall. And it just would break my heart every day because I knew that they were returning to like what they call a mattress and the food not being nutritious, and also knowing that like for those few hours that we were there, they always would say like, you are such a light and we are just so inspired and this is the best part of our day. And I just want them to, I wanted them to know that just because we're not here, like that light is still here. And that I'm not the light, you're the light. And I'm just like reflecting what you are giving to me.
Yeah. Yeah, that's so good. Yeah, I truly believe that us as a people, we do reflect one another. Whether that is an opportunity for us to learn something about ourselves or to gain or glean something from someone else. So, wow, that's beautiful that you just shared that. And having as you stated, a curious and compassionate heart. I just love that so much. That resonates with me as well because that's me. Again, sticking to the script, and that was just a little laugh there because I'm like, that's really where I am.
And I'm sure you have other people to talk to. You gotta like pull it together.
Yes, I have to pull it together. So, okay. So what's something about the people in this film that you wish the world understood beyond the label of incarcerated? I think you kind of touched on that a little bit, but if you want to expound more on it with that question.
I think there's so many things that I wish the world knew, but just like on the most basic, simple level, I wish that people thought about the actual people that are incarcerated. Like, these are not numbers or charges or accusations or crimes. And even if you do think those things, like, they are also sons and daughters and parents, and they were once children, and some of them children when they got incarcerated. And at the end of the day, none of us are free until we all are free. And so knowing that like my pain is tangled in yours and my joy is tangled in yours, and we're all connected. And I think somebody once said to me, and it's probably like from the Bible or something, I don't know. Somebody said like how you treat the least of us show like somehow like how you treat the least of those
the least of these
I'm getting it wrong, and it's so
I know exactly
embarrassing
because
I'm on camera
about, and I can't I'll let you know.
But like I don't look at people who have found themselves caged or incarcerated as the least. I find there are some on a basic level, what I think is that some of the people who are in prison, or most of them, are the most talented, most brilliant, most artistic, most creative, people that you'll ever meet, most kind and compassionate, people who have really put in the work to change, and people who have really put in the work to, because change just kind of means that like they needed to change. And then we think of these terms like second chances, which I hate because sometimes people don't even have a first chance. Or second chance, you might need a 68th chance. And so I just want people to know that these are people and humans, and 1 in 3 Americans has been touched by incarceration. Whether or not they spent 1 day in jail because maybe they got a DUI, maybe they got caught driving without a license. But spending a day in jail is traumatic. And you think that you may not be connected to this mass incarceration issue, but we are all connected. And I just wish that people understood that.
Yeah, that's so good. That's so true. You all may not know, and I'll share that here right now. Only those that are close to me. I actually spent a day in jail as well. It's a wild story. As I always say, there's so much to us. Just because you see or look a certain way that you don't believe or know what someone has went through, what they're going through, and what is on the other side of that. But going back to what you were saying you were screwing up or mixing up. I believe that's Matthew 25:40, and I believe this is Paul or Matthew. And the king will say, I tell you the truth, when you did it to one of the least of these, my brothers and sisters, you were doing it to me.
See, someone shared that with me, and it also made me think of like Martin Luther King saying, a threat to justice. See, I can't remember these quotes, and they really moved me. But it's a threat to justice everywhere, or something like that. But yeah, like just, you cannot, people are not disposable.
No.
And people should not be defined by the worst thing they've ever done, whether that was you slapped your sibling when you were a kid, or you cheated on a test, or you committed real harm that caused you to be incarcerated. Like, nobody wants to be defined, and nobody should be defined by the worst thing they've ever done. Instead, like, what about their potential and room for growth, and who they want to be, and who they aspire to be, and who they will be, if somebody just loved them and cared for them and invested in them.
Absolutely. I wore this butterfly pin. One of my girlfriends gave it to us. We're in a small group, so she gave it to us as a reminder that we're ever changing and evolution.
Yes.
And then there's a cross right in the middle also to let us know, like, that's the foundation, like that's the middle. So yeah, that's so good. It's not just changing. There is a true evolution and a growth
that's happening.
That's happening
every second of every day.
Yeah.
There is. I was at one of the screenings the other day, and somebody mentioned the word Sonder. And she was like, you know, the term Sonder, and I didn't. I was like, what, like Sonder Hotels? Like, what are you talking about?
Tell me more.
Tell me more. And Sonder is a term that encompasses the realization that as you walk through a room full of people, every single one of those people is just as layered and complicated and has a nuanced life as you do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's so good. And it helps you to be more of your authentic self, right? And I say this all the time, and people misconstrue, and I say, you're not that important. Which, what I'm saying is, take off the stress.
Yeah.
Take off the cape and all the things. No, we are all in this together, right? Alicia always says, we're better together. It's so true. It's so true. All right, so what moving right along, you guys, stick to the script here. What part of making this film challenged you the most emotionally, and did it change how you see the system or the people in it? Well, I think really you just answered that question really, because once you found out about your dad, that's when things shifted and changed for you, and it opened up a whole nother can of curiosity for you. And then once you started going down that trail, or that rabbit hole, as they say, you started being even more compassionate, right? So we'll skip over that one, right? This is me trying to stay, but I know we already answered that question. So after, here we are, closing things out here. After people watch Beyond, what do you hope they do differently, not just feel, but actually do?
I hope that after people see Beyond, that they do a couple of things. One is just be kinder to people, knowing that most of the people that are in prison are going to eventually come home, and they're going to be your neighbor. They are going to be the person who serves you at a restaurant. They might be your boss one day. Like, you just don't know. And do you want people to come home better and healed, or do you want them to come home further traumatized by a system that we're all complicit in investing in? And I want people to think about punishment, accountability, redemption, hope. I want them to think about those things, but then I want them to like do research in whatever state they're in, and think about like second chances, third chances, fourth chances. Think about the way we're sentencing people. Who are you voting for to be your district attorney? Who are you voting for? What legislation are you looking at that makes it so that people aren't thrown away for the rest of their lives? And how are you voting on those things? So I want people to think differently, feel differently, vote with alignment that aligns with their heart and how they see people. And and then just tell your friends to watch Beyond. Yeah.
Tell your friends.
Yeah.
And thank you so much, Miss Asia Johnson.
Thank you so much.
You are awesome and amazing, curious and compassionate.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
I love that. I'm for sure inspired by this conversation, not just by the trailer, but from you and your character. and you being bold to share their story, choose like, yep, we have to share this. We have to. And then to submit it, right? You did the thing. So congratulations to you for being selected to be a film and a documentary here at the Cleveland International Film Festival. I wish this documentary to be international and to be a rave and for people to go and to be in action, not just think about it, not just write it in their journals, but to think about it, to do it, and to share it with their friends and families. And for me, I'm inspired now to take more action with my family or the people that I'm connected to who are behind the walls, as you stated there. So yeah, you all, this is what it means to go beyond labels, beyond what you see, beyond the face, and go a little deeper. Ask questions. You're not that important. Take that stuff off. We are all the same. We're all having anxieties or not sure how we're supposed to show up in rooms. Show up as yourself, right? Because you never know what light that you're meant to be in someone's life. So you all, well, that's it. That's all. This is Nikki B here with LaRae at the 50th Annual Cleveland International Film Festival with Miss Asia Johnson here, the Film of Beyond.
Thank you so much.
You're very welcome. All right, you guys, till next time. Peace. All right, perfect. That was so good.
That was so good.